Okay, so I'm in the supermarket. I've gotten excited. Because I'm starting to put carbohydrates soon back in my diet, slowly with the refeed. So I'm excited. I've just done my 2-hour, 3-hour workout. Caffeinated, brain function at 0, right? I've got pearled barley. I've found my favorite kimchi, which is restocked. And I start carrying it. I've spoken to a bunch of people to even find where one of the ingredients was. It was like pearled barley. I'll explain that in a second why. It's a hack. And I have a protein shaker. This protein shaker is the best protein shaker I've ever had in my life. It came to me in Amsterdam in one of their biggest gyms in the whole of Europe called Train More. I loved that gym. It was like a beautiful warehouse, 4 levels, like old school, like looked like this sort of house. I don't like this pillow here. And hang on, what I'll do, this pillow here, bang, look at that, yeah. Anyway, so I've got this all right, favorite protein shaker, and I've just come home and I'm like, right, I'm gonna YouTube it. I got excited, I'm the rice cooker, everything. And the carbohydrates, I'm thinking about it. And then I'm like, I need some water before this YouTube video. Where's my protein shaker? So what I've done is through excitement, I've been carrying, because I'm a unit, right? So I'm like this, I've got my sunglasses in the supermarket and I've got the pearled barley stacked up to here, kimchi up to here, and the only reason I remember I 100% now left it in the supermarket is because there was nothing else to hold on to. So I've left my favorite protein shaker and it's like, oh, but I can only laugh at myself. Welcome back. Hello. I'm loving these pants. I'm just loving these pants. More have arrived. I love it. And I'm gonna get more. I love these pants. Life is good. So, the employee for YouTube has never shown up. Sad. Spoke to the other person, which I've already had dreams about over the last couple of days, even before the other YouTube person started. And I was feeling like I made the wrong choice, even though it was like a good feeling, this one. And I spoke to him and he was already on the ball. He was already reformatting his computer, getting ready for the next week. He already is plugged into my content, like where he was at, aligned with the vision. And him as a man is really interestingly aligned. He, about 3-4 years ago, also had a degree and decided, you know what? No. Life is too short to work for money or degrees. He's like, I'm gonna do what I love. And he has his own YouTube channel and he loves video editing. It wasn't about YouTube necessarily, but he loves video editing. So he is a person, even though I hired him and I'm his boss, we're in partnership because I look up to him as he's the man that's already done this. He's already been like, you know what? I'm not gonna live somebody else's life. I'm gonna do what I wanna do. So I'm super excited for him to start, but it does mean that there's an extra week until that first video gets launched. I'm excited for it. I'm happy. It's where I'm at. So pearled barley. Firstly, what I'm thinking right now is I know I've been running these 14 days. I am thinking of putting in, so I could run 14 days and then I could put 100 grams of carbs in at night, right? For the next 1 to 2 weeks and slowly ramp up the carbs. But what I've decided is it smarter for me to slowly adjust my guts and also to really get cognitive understanding of what different amounts of carbohydrates and different amount of energy intake make as a difference to my body. So I'm thinking maybe we run this 7 days. Then for the next 7 days, we already put in 50 grams of carbohydrates. Now 50 grams of carbohydrates, of clean carbohydrates is not much, and it should ramp up the metabolism a little bit. And then the next week I can have 100. And then I can sit at 100 and I can, depending on where we're at, I can either keep it at 100 or then move it to 150 the next week, move it to 200 the next week, and then slowly ramp up that way. So I am thinking about that. Reason being is low carbohydrate in the final section, like in that final section, can cause, if you don't have enough carbohydrates, it can cause slight muscle loss, energy, like my body begins to fight for its life, basically. So I have to be aware it will try and burn muscle, burn stuff other than essential fat, because essential fat is needed to live. And sleep is important. Last night, 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, not good. Even the air conditioner, the little split system, it has a tiny rattling sound. It's like the bane of my existence. I don't know if anybody has this. In the last 3 houses, all my split systems, because I run them maybe all the time, they start getting like a... Now, when I'm not in a deficit and I'm calm and, everything's, I don't hear it. But when I'm like, I need to go to bed because tomorrow I'm gonna go send it again. At that point I'm like, it's I've done weird stuff, like I've jammed like knives into it to try and stop it. I've tried, but I can't find the perfect tool. I kind of need maybe like a toothbrush or something, because I think it's just like something, there's like a bit stuck in it. Anyway, don't know. That's my story. So I am thinking, one of the thoughts that I've been thinking is I'm liking this as an environment. This is my house, and it's beginning to be like, I find that maybe sitting here, having a chat, I really loved yesterday's video, and I think the days before, like I really loved how I felt and how I was able to speak. So I'm thinking of having this as really the space of where I sit when I'm in this house. Because at some point, I'm traveling. We film every day, no excuses. When we travel, we make do with a new space. I understand that. But here, to have a good space that's certain, that's set in stone, I think it's useful. And I'm thinking of potentially like putting a bit into it, as in getting, even though the lighting is really good right now, but what if I'm filming at night, to maybe have a soft light that comes and illuminates the face or whatever. Basically, I'm excited because I like this space. I love this house. I love high ceilings. High ceilings are my absolutely favorite. So, it is what it is. So, it is what it is. High ceilings are great. High ceilings make me feel more creative. So, a space, interestingly, a lot of people don't get to experience this, but 5-6 years ago when I started traveling around just Airbnbs and different houses, because I was like, now I earn money, freedom, cool, happy days. Now, as a young boy, when I had freedom and money, what did I do? I did all the dumb shit. I moved into a beach house which had a projector with a PlayStation. I bought a month's worth of substances and just hung out on the beach, rocked out with my music and played PlayStation. And then after a month, I was like, this is shit. Like, I did all the dopamine-genic stuff. But because I've lived in different places, I really began, and as I'm running a business, everything's consistent. The only thing that would change would be my space. I would feel completely differently. So let's imagine this. So that, let's say I've got a perfect diet. It's like, not perfect, it's the same diet every day. The business is the same, everything's the same. I even stay in the same city, but what I do is I move to a different location. I move to a different location, so the suburb has changed, and the house has changed, nothing else has changed. And then I see how things change quickly for me. Like, if that was the only change, how do I feel, how do I not feel? And overall, high ceilings and wide open space for me is just for work, for admin work, for like dialed in work where I need to like really plug in, like a dark room, not necessarily high ceilings, just like eliminated stuff. And I'll show you my study one day. And it's not my study isn't set up in the perfect way, but dark, just computer, eliminate all other serotonin, dopamine stuff, so the brain gets just hardwired just to the screen. Where interestingly, if I do interviews or if I do creative work, I prefer to bring my computer or anything out to here because it generates a more creative vibe. It's like a more flowy, it's like energy flows. I sound like such a hippie, but maybe I am, I don't know. No, I do know. So I know you're thinking it, the ex. I did it. I basically said what I did yesterday. I did not check her socials. I did check in the morning, this morning, but I like talked to myself over coffee for 2 minutes. I was like, check, don't check. I was like, check, but don't like think about it. And I checked and cool. But in eliminating it even for 95% of the day, I not only didn't check, because I don't check her social media every day, I stopped thinking about her. Because I was like, look, you literally have rejected me 1,000 times. You are all over social media saying I'm the worst or whatever it is, having breakdowns, I'm the worst and I'm autistic, whatever. And then I've literally called and I've been like, hello? And you've literally hung up, you're like, no. All right, so I can't, with my purpose, as much as I love you, with my purpose and my vision, I have to keep honoring where we're going. I have all of you guys, every single one of you that's here. You're not hanging up on me. You're not being like, screw you. You're not, you're here and you're committed to your life as well. You're committed to your life because I'm not talking about how to get girls. Maybe I will at some point, how to get boys. I'm talking about real stuff, like how to actually move through life in a way that you are going to love your life and design it. Be the divine architect of your own reality. So you, and not just you, I know you're watching this, but you know, there's a lot of you out there that are watching this, and I need to understand that my thoughts and my feelings and my actions have a higher return on investment to you. If I'm truly committed that I love everybody, which I do, every single person that I've ever met, I have deep love and appreciation for, then I am not honoring what is true, that I must serve you. So if there's something that I need to get rid of to serve you better, I need to do that. And it's a hard conversation that I had to say with myself, because it's not about checking her social media. It's not about any of that. It's about thinking, not thinking about that, not thinking about her. And I know all the science, you're just going through a breakup and you know, you just, the oxytocin is gone now, and then you're that, and it's so not. It's so not. Thoughts are, I mean, there's certain feelings of that, but thoughts are a choice. And if I'm committed to my rig, committed to you guys, committed to singing, I sang yesterday for the first time, and it flowed so beautifully. I was singing in the car park while taking out the bins, and it echoed throughout this like basement car park. I was like, do I sound like this? So I filmed it because I was like, nah, you're being delusional. And I filmed it, unedited, it sounded pretty unbelievable. I couldn't believe that I sounded like that. And I have been behind the scenes following Christina Aguilera, not following, but doing some masterclasses with Christina Aguilera, which interestingly said that a lot of singing is actually emotion. It's not necessarily perfect, it's imperfect in its emotion and connecting to your feelings. Wow, great, Andrew. Good that we're on the connecting to the feelings and honoring that. So it's actually being able to connect to the feeling and putting it out as an emotion. And when you put it out as an emotion, it's perfect. Sure, vocal tone will get better and I'll practice and great, but I need to be able to take my emotion, my raw emotion, and deliver it. And if I can do that, then it was just magical. It was magical. That's what it's been like. That's what it's been like. So day 2 of the 14 days done. Pearl barley. I haven't covered pearl barley. Carbohydrates, and I don't want to get in a war or debate on carbohydrates. Okay, if you want to lose weight permanently for good, Psychology of Weight Loss, the book, it's in there, or go into the OF. I help and support people there. All my materials, everything I've ever released, coaching programs, everything, all the behind the scenes, everything's there. It's good, right? So if you want to do that, it's specific to you, that's different. But I want to give you an overall understanding of how I think. There's lots of carbohydrates, and people will say that carbohydrates are carbohydrates. Sugar's carbohydrates, rice is carbohydrates, potatoes carbohydrates, fruits are carbohydrates. There's all these different carbohydrates. Now, each carbohydrate will make you feel different and give you a different energy when you ingest it. Pearled barley has a really low GI. What that means is with carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates like sugars, white rice, bread, what they do is they create a big spike of energy with a big drop. Like caffeine, big spike of energy, big drop. Green tea, slow energy, slow drop. Now what happens for most people is when we experience a high and then crash a low, we experience like a deficit of feeling. And when we experience a deficit of feeling, we then want to redose. So if you have a lot of simple carbohydrates and you're like, oh, I just love carbs, what you're having is you're having a big high, big low, which is causing you to redose more often than you should, which is why they put sugar in everything, because it makes you want to redose like a narcotic. Sugar is the worst thing ever. Crystalline sugar is drugs, just so everyone's aware, but that's for another chat. Pearl barley has a really low GI. So what it does is you don't even feel the energy. It's like a this and like that. But also it's considered like a miracle grain because of all the micronutrients in it. As a grain, it's the best grain that you can potentially have. And I'm not even sure if I'm sold on grains. I might stick to fruits, but fruits cause a large enough spike. Pearl barley makes you look quite tight as well. In terms of how it makes your physique look, you'll find it makes it look relatively tight. It doesn't hold on to a lot of water. And it doesn't create this high spike. So what you do is you begin to eat it specifically for the energy instead of the feeling of like, oh, carbs, yay. Oh, white rice, full. Because what I want to feel a consistent amount of energy. I don't like spikes up and down. And speaking of that, if you're here yesterday, so I ingested the 2 sugar-free drinks yesterday. Pepsi Max Vanilla. Not a Coke Vanilla, no. Diet Coke Vanilla, not bad. Pepsi Max Vanilla is the best vanilla. Fight me on it. Firstly, it wasn't that good. My taste buds weren't like, oh, this used to be better. That was the first step. Second of all, because it was processed, I felt a bit off, but also the caffeine, because I had 2 yesterday, I had more caffeine. And it just gave me a bit of an off feeling, like it wasn't clean. It just wasn't clean. So it's there. It's not bad as a crutch. I will continue, but I could feel it instantly, and my body and everything is saying, buddy, maybe not, but it is where I am at the moment. So that's it. Whew. These muscles. Today was a weird day at the gym. Not weird. It was my rest day, 2 hours cardio, so that's fine. Happy days. Lots to do today. Pearl barley, great, look into it. And cool little thing, pearl barley, it's not in the like little rice cup sections or anywhere in the pre-made stuff. Pearl barley is like in the health food section, and it's really, really cheap. It's like, in Australia right now, it's $2 for like half a kilo. Well, actually, rice by the bag is similar, but basically it's not in the normal sections. And the cool thing about pearl barley, if you're into this, pearl barley, unlike rice, it's like almost flavorless. So whatever sauce you add to it, whatever meal you add to it, it will start tasting like that meal, meaning it like soaks it up. So if I was to add a spicy sauce to it, the whole thing's spicy. If I was to add apple cider vinegar to it, the whole thing's got an apple cider vinegar. If I was able to add some pepper and some cinnamon, I've done pearl barley as a dessert as well. You can put some cinnamon on it, happy birthday. So it's a grain which soaks up whatever flavor is with it, and try it, but don't try it for one day, right? And this is with all the suggestions, because obviously I'm gonna share a lot of my food journey and like stuff that I ingest and don't ingest. If you've been here a while, I always talk about this, but you've got to create a baseline. So you've got a baseline, and then you move one thing off the baseline, just one thing, and then hold that baseline for like 7 days. Then see the impact of it, because then your brain connects. It goes, right, I was feeling one way and I'm feeling another way. I think the place is going to get evacuated. There was going to be a test evacuation, and I think it's about to happen. If it beeps, I'm going to have to go, and I apologize. I can't take you on the journey of the evacuation. I could, but I shouldn't. If it does, oh no, please don't, but we may. So that's where we're at. Make changes slowly. Make one change, see the difference energy levels, or see what changes to your mood, etc., and then notice the difference. So when I was at home recently, 3-4 days ago, at my home, at my family home, I started ingesting protein bars. The healthy ones, the 5-star. They did have like 2 grams of sugar in them, and they had like a prebiotic fiber or stuff. And my whole energy was different. It wasn't this, like, I feel right now more flowy. Like I feel like I'm flowing, where there I felt like I'm like doing a thing. Now, obviously there was a change as well, because I'm with family, there's health issues, I'm looking after stuff, it's not my space, so I can't boil it down to that. But when I came here as well, I still continued the protein bars, and I still had that, so no good. And that's how I operate. Like your diet and your fuel is literally how you feel in your body, in your vehicle, in your Ferrari, in your Aston Martin, in your G-Wagon, whatever your car is. By the way, visualize what type of car you are. It's a weird thing, right? But like, if you can visualize what type of car you are, you can then begin to fuel for that car. For example, a Ferrari is like low to the ground, but the engine is loud always, right? But then you can have like, I don't know, a Mercedes or something where it's slow to start. It's like slow to start, quiet to start, but then it has give in it. Or then maybe you have G-Wagons or a big wagon and you want to put on a lot of muscle and you're like, great. Or maybe you're a girl and you want to have like a petite car, like a little hatchback. Because when you picture a car, you can kind of envision a feeling of a car, right? There's like, it's easier when it's separate outside of your body, but your body is a vehicle. So when you imagine yourself as a vehicle, as a car, you want to make sure that you're putting in the right petrol to fuel your car's needs. Anyway, I love talking about this. I do. Because it works. It just works. It's another mental model. And it's brought up in the book as well. Jesus, this pillow. Mate, stay there. Anyway. The mental model works because most people do not look at them. We compare, we look at what we want, what we don't have, what we might want, and it's got to reverse. Instead of doing that, it's like, what do you in your heart, in your like soul, somewhere deep inside, out of all this noise and bullshit, like the little boy and the little girl that's like has a dream, like what do you picture yourself as? Like, allow yourself to do that. Maybe you want to be a firefighter. Maybe you want to, I know somebody, great human. His name was Dane. He was one of my team leaders in one of my jobs, and just a great human, like heart to heart, great human. Grew up with, I think, 9 sisters, don't quote me. Grew up with them, and his family actually got them, his family adopted. I lost the word, adopted. I'm Russian and English, so that's my excuse. I'm Russian and English. That's why I forgot. No, Andrew, it's because your brain not working. You left the protein shake at the Woolworths, which is our supermarket. That's what's happening. Anyway, they adopted a lot of their kids, and maybe like, if you imagine somebody, I don't think Dane was adopted, but that person envisioned themselves maybe being a Mother Teresa, and they're obviously really healthy, like a person that brings community together. Whatever in your heart is, allow yourself to imagine that. And once you get that real crystal, that's where your purpose comes in. And then everything pulls you towards that purpose. So dare to dream. Dare to look in your little subconscious. Don't tell anybody about it. And be like, if you could be anything, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want your life to be all about? And get that real concrete. When you get that concrete, you'll jump out of bed, you'll pull towards it, and then it'll align. You've obviously got to act a lot. Anyway, I love you. I love these pants. Have the best day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.